Right, hello, this is Wmpyr here to talk about using the knife reverse grip, single knife for reverse grip heaven 6. Okay, we're going to start off with double knife in the standard grip real quick because it's important for you guys to make sure that you follow the angles. Okay, you got to be meticulous about this. I'm going to start like this, and here we go. Number 1, 2, and then 3, opposite angle, 4, 5, and then 6. Okay, look, my number 1 right here is following this diagonal angle. So whether I strike it or whether I slash it, either way, it is this diagonal angle. Not here, not here, it's right here. So I'm making sure I keep that. Number 2 follows the exact same angle, and then number 3 is the same angle on the other side. So it's on this, instead of here, it's over here. And there, that's my 3. Now 4, 5, 4 and 5, same angle, 6 on the other side, you see? So it's very important to follow and keep those angles. The other thing is, there are certain movements that make the heaven 6 the heaven 6. So no matter, if you're doing it more like punching or you're doing it more like slashing, okay, and everything in between, no matter how you're doing it, compact or dynamic or whatever, there are key movements in there that make it the heaven 6, and you got to follow those key movements, because if not, and I see this a lot, it's just people just kind of doing this, and this is not heaven 6. Okay, this is like, well, you could just punch in boxing. You could just do a 1 2 1 2 1 2, and that would be much more efficient, and instead of trying to do a half-assed heaven 6, right? So what are those key movements? Number 1 comes over this hand, okay? You start this way. Number 1 comes over. So whether I'm using this bottom hand as a wedge, or I move their arm out of the way and then I'm coming from the top, boom, like a trapping type technique, or I push the guy and here's my number 1. Whatever the case, okay, number 1 comes from the top. Number 2 is a sneaky shot that comes from the bottom, okay? So whether I slash it or whether I strike it, either way, it has to come from the bottom here. Okay, boom, right there. Number 3 is this from top to bottom, like a circular type motion. But once again, I could slash it or I could strike it and I park down here. But when I do that, notice both arms are over here. So I'm in a parallel weapons position. My weapons are parallel to each other. So when I do this, notice my body opens. See, so this is number 3. So it comes from the top and it parks. So when I do that, it's like I open, my body opens like a bow and arrow, and I'm setting up for number 4, or in some cases you could use your right hand to push and create the distance, or the bottom hand could already slash the guy at that point. So you created some space, so then you can get some power into your attack. So it could be used multiple ways, but those are key movements that need to be in there, and then going back to 4 5 6, which is the same thing from the other side. So it comes on top of the other hand, and then the other hand comes from the bottom, and then number 6 in this case, which is the same as number 3, but from the other side, you open up. You open and it comes from the top to the bottom, right? So those key movements need to be in there. It can't just be, once again, and I see people do this kind of thing all the time, and that's lazy, okay? That is poor technique. Now, another thing you need to remember is with the standard grip, this is the angle that I'm gonna keep. So I want the knife pretty much at this angle. Okay, not here, but here. It's safer for me. Okay, if I keep it here, boom. If it gets hit, I can end up stabbing myself like that. If I have it here and it gets hit this way, it can hit me. So keep it, so it's going outwards, kind of like a Y shape or a V shape. Okay, reverse grip is this way. So it's the opposite, but it's still going away from my body, right? So basically it creates an X. So here, here, or here, okay, you see, it creates an X. So just remember that. Reverse grip is going to be this way. Now, let's go to the single knife. Even though it's single knife, it's heaven 6, so it's both arms, where I'm using both arms into the equation. So they have to deal with not just this, but also this hand, okay? And it's a reverse grip, so I'm gonna be holding it like so. And remember, because it's reverse grip, I'm gonna be like this, not at this angle, okay? If it was standard grip, I want it at this angle. But because it's reverse grip, I want it at this angle, right? Going that way, going away from my body. So from here right now, don't worry about actual combat. Just stand straight and starting position right here. You're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 1 goes over this hand, okay? Number 2 comes from the bottom. Number 3, it comes from the top, and this is where I can open. So I open the bow and arrow movement, and it parks, okay? And then same thing with this side. Here is my, has to come over the other hand, 4. Number 5 comes from underneath, 5. And then here's my number 6, comes over and park. This is the opening of the body. So that's the 4, 5, 6 from that angle. Now, when we actually start getting more realistic, now you're going to angle the body. So I'm not going to stand square. I'm going to be from here, okay? And then because this is heaven 6, this is the starting position right here. And you're going to see, once you angle your body and the weapon sides to the front, number 1, right? Number 1. So once again, whether I push or whatever, comes over my left hand. Number 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It works beautifully. You can see, come in. That's my number 1. Number 2 comes from the bottom. Number 3 is my bow and arrow movement, and it parks below. And then here's now 4. Number 5 is the tricky one that comes from the bottom. It goes right into his eye. And then here's number 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. But no matter how fast or how big I make the motions or how compact I make the motions, I'm still following each one of those heaven 6 movements. With the knife, the angles in the reverse grip is a little bit different from the standard grip, so just make sure you don't cut your arms. I use my own forearms as a key, so when I feel my forearm against forearm, I know I'm not going to cut myself, okay? But when I don't feel that, then I start worrying, because then all this can happen where I cut myself. But if I'm here, I know I'm safe. So, see, I keep that forearm to forearm connection, and no matter how fast I'm going, I know, no matter how much my wrist turns and everything, as long as I keep that forearm connection, I know I'm safe. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.